but I think like one of your original comments on folklore was like, I'm gonna wait for the euphoria to die down before we get honest about it. And I was just like, not interested, DJ. Like, I have no desire to have honest conversations about it.
Brunch, hit it, boys.
Pete's sick.
Yeah, I sure am. On a scale of 1 to feeling good, I am a solid not.
Now, we didn't invent this, but we certainly point out at every turn. Bet you're being a huge baby right now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's just a giant baby.
Somebody like 5 or 6 months ago was like, hey, like, I'm not talking shit or anything, but like, my boyfriend has a cold and is having way too hard a time with it. Is this a him thing or is this a guy's thing? And I was like, how do people not know that when guys get colds,
Giant
oh boy.
baby. And I think it's worse now too, because like anytime you get any sort of sickness now, it's like, do I have COVID? I have COVID? And I'm pretty sure that I don't have COVID, but yeah, I'm being a big baby about it. And also it's tough for me because I never get sick. I never get sick, but when I do get sick, I can't tell if I either get really sick or I'm just used to not getting sick, that I'm just a huge baby about it.
That's true. You haven't, yeah, you really don't get sick.
No.
I get like exhausted so much that I'm like in what is it, Silicon Valley, he says, the main character, it's wild how much I've forgotten about that show, but Richard says like, I've had a cold for a year.
Yeah.
Like I identify with that, like where there's like whether it's just like not sleeping or just being stupid, like the kind of always being lightly sick. I get that, but I never even see you like I don't know, like your voice is never fucked up or anything like that. So, I mean, good on one hand. On the other, I bet that ramps up the babiness like times 20. Like, can I do it? Hey, check this out. Can I do anything? Can I send you anything? Are you drinking fluids?
Yeah, I'm drinking lots of fluids.
I gave you that tip.
Ellen just made me a nice tea.
Nice.
So I'm drinking some tea with lemon and just a lot of water.
Cool.
And that's it.
Those check the boxes for fluids, so you're off to a good start. What kind of mug are you rocking?
Oh, this is an LL Bean Floor the Maine Woods coffee cup. It was probably like $24.
Really cool.
I had a gift card to LL Bean, and I only found like one thing that I wanted at LL Bean, and I just wanted to like use the rest of the gift card because I knew that I wasn't going to go back for a while. So I just bought this like super expensive coffee mug.
I don't do enough LL Bean. I've always had respect for LL Bean, but we just don't cross paths too often.
I think that it's too expensive for what, like, they have really good clothes and they have like great quality clothes, but they're just too expensive.
Interesting. So I've definitely always felt that they have great quality clothes. That does stink when there's a place that you're like, yo, I dig your stuff, but I just know that it's not worth whatever you're charging.
Right. And it's like, I dig your stuff and I know that it's good quality and it'll last me forever. And like, I'm paying for what I'm getting, but I'm not justifying the price.
I have been wishing, I got stuff, especially like as far as clothes go. Like I have a lot of shirts. I got a lot of, I have a lot of everything, yet I haven't felt satisfied with my wardrobe in a long time, which typically for me means I'm just actually not satisfied with my body. But I have like some friends where, I don't know, back in the day when you would like go to a friend's place or whatever and be like, hey, we're hitting the town. They'd be like, cool, I'm just going to go change. And their closet is like 6 really cool items. Like they have very few things, but all of them fucking rock. I'm like, well, I could not identify less with that, but it seems nice.
Yeah, I tried to do that. I tried to like cut down to like only the cool things. Mm-hmm. And I gave it an attempt, and I just am so hesitant to part ways with things that like
all my shit's cool.
Not even that. It's like I have things that have like sentimental, I guess, where it's like, oh, I wore this that time. Like I have memories of times that I wore certain things, and I'm like, well, I could do that again. And I just I'm very hesitant to throw away a bunch of stuff or give it away or trim down. Although I just bought this.
Cool.
And it's from Costco. I bought this from Costco and I bought sweatpants from Costco. And let me tell you, oh yeah.
Yo, I was at Costco 3 months ago. And I thought I was like, yo, I should get some jeans at Costco, right? Nobody's going to see them. And who cares? Like the jeans that I wear kind of commonly right now are jeans that I bought for a Mike Felger costume. Where I needed jeans that looked like I didn't fucking care what jeans I was buying. So I went to Old Navy and they had these $2. They were legitimately on sale for $2. And they were some fit that would absolutely not be in right now. It's just kind of a lightly loose fit. And I'm like, yeah, I wear these jeans all the time during the pandemic. So who cares? Yeah, good call on the Costco stuff. I mean, famously, John Mayer has
big Kirkland guy
has really adopted the Kirkland brand. We got shit to do today. We got Feitelberg's going to come on. We got 40 minutes with him. Exactly 40 minutes with John Feitelberg. That's not a scheduling thing on his end. If you've listened to the Tom Everett Scott episode, the 1975 episode with Nora, it's 40 minutes, and the Zoom says that's going to be it. So
Zoom's got a hard out.
So if there's any fucking around and fat that we're not going to trim, that's in this part of the podcast as we talk about a teacher and Happiest Season, the movie. We've gotten back to tossing Christmas movies and holiday movies on. Before we do that, I think that you're not as in on the new Taylor Swift album as I am. And I'm not super in on it, but I think that's pretty cool. That's a fun little reversal.
Yeah, I think that it's the exact opposite. I don't want to get too into the Taylor stuff, but I think that we're in the exact opposite positions as we were for Folklore and Evermore, which is very interesting.
Yeah, where I'm like, hey, this is pretty good. And you're like, dude, it's fine.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what we went through with Folklore and Evermore. So we'll have Feitelberg on. You had an idea to, last time we did Short Lore, where we lopped off the songs that didn't need to be on the album. So she has a new album. The new album is called FOLKMOST, and we're going to do FOLKMOST, which is where you take the two albums, combine them. We'll have to explain this to Fights, but let's at least smooth out what our plan's going to be there. We each pick 5 songs, and then one person can eliminate one of them?
6 songs.
Okay, so how about this?
Because I said the combined FOLKMOST album track listing should be 15 because
15
I believe
songs.
that both of them are 15.
Okay.
So let's do a combined 15 track listing.
So then here's a fun little wrinkle because we were talking about one person gets to subtract a song after they've been put on. Mm-hmm. What if we each do 5 songs, then we each take turns getting rid of a song, and then we each get to add one more. Or we could do.
Then wouldn't we just add the one that got eliminated?
No. If you fucking do that, you're off the podcast.
Exactly. So what are those completely off the table? The ones that get eliminated?
Right. So say, I mean, I'm not going to tip my hand. I think you could probably guess the 2 songs that I will absolutely not allow beyond this, but I can only eliminate one of them.
No, let's just do 6 and then eliminate 3 and not add.
Okay. Can we eliminate them in real time? Because I'm going to be really excited. Feitelberg hasn't heard this yet. The second he picks Champagne Problems, you're going to react. So this is what happens. Feitelberg picks Champagne Problems. You give your reaction. It will be like a good cop, bad cop thing. This thing has until I finish speaking before it is off this. So you say whatever you want. Good job, buddy. Hey, it's cool that you picked a song that was important to you. The next fucking words out of my mouth are, John Feitelberg, Champagne Problems is not on FOLKMOST.
See, this is where I wish that I splurged because I got the Go XLR mixer. I wish that I splurged for the soundboard one because I would love to just drop just an obnoxious sound effect to when we got
She gone. I don't know if we did this on or off the podcast. Didn't we like devote a lot of time to why would anybody get that other version of the Go XLR?
Yeah.
There's no need for, what are you going to use, drops? Loser? What are we, shock jocks? What is this, the fucking Buzz? Get out of here. And now,
Damn,
like,
I wish I had it so bad.
2 hours later, as I make a SpongeBob reference, I probably shouldn't be allowed to make because I've never seen that show, but they do a lot of the whatever time later. Yeah, so should we be able to do that in real time, or do we wait until the end to eliminate?
No, I think we can do real time. That's fine.
Cool. And then, like, if I think I'm predicting exactly what's going to happen here. So Feitelberg is going to put champagne problems on there. I'm going to get rid of it, and because Feitelberg and I think, are similarly petty. He's just going to wait for whatever song I'm picking next, and you won't even like the second I say, be like, okay, cool, that's fucking gone. And tell you what, I'm going to strategically pick a song that I don't want on there. So here's what's going to happen. Oh, this is great. We don't need.
I like this
episode.
strategy going into it.
Right? Okay. So
does he know that we're doing this? By the way,
no, I'll tell him. He's in the middle of an interview, but he should be done in a second. So here's what happens. He picks champagne problems. I get rid of it. Either you or me plant some sort of seed of like, ooh, Feitelberg's gunning for you now, DJ. Watch your back. Now he's
better
gonna
be
get
careful.
Right. And I'm like, look, we're all adults here. My next selection is great song, The One. And then Feitelberg's like, fuck you, it's not on there. And then you play a drop of like, I don't know, whatever music they play.
You played yourself.
Right. Yeah. You played yourself. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
We can insert that in post. We can do that.
It doesn't hit quite as hard.
Right. And it would seem weird. There'd just be, I actually like this. There would be the drop with no reaction whatsoever. Like, ooh, you played yourself,
we've
big
done
dummy.
that before on the podcast. We've done post production drops.
Yeah, we've done. Yeah, we're a pretty snazzy operation here. I'm going to take 1 second. Do we have an ad read?
We do.
Okay.
Fishy, you want to do it?
No. Do you want to do it? I mean, I want us to do it. I don't have it in front of me. I was going to text Feitelberg. Just heads up. Here's what we're doing.
I did the last one. And
okay.
I don't want to do it again because remember how difficult of a time I had with it.
Cool. So talk about something for like 20 seconds while I text Feitelberg.
All right. Well, I'm not feeling too great, but it is what it is. We're getting near the end of 2020, and guess what? I know it's been a tough year for all of us, but I'm pretty grateful for a lot of things that happened this year. I really am, and so I hope that you are too. Thank you for continuing to listen to Brunch throughout this year. I know we sort of had it was a down year for the podcast. I didn't like that we had to record so many episodes remotely. We're recording this one remotely against our will, I guess. Like I wish that we were recording it together, hopefully soon, after the holidays.
Yeah,
So that was me filibustering for like 30 seconds.
That was solid. It was a nice little like kind of from the heart thing. Feitelberg says, "Love it."
Okay, great.
I'm gonna talk for 20 seconds. I'm gonna text him back. That's what you think. Got a whole fucking plan, buddy.
I emailed you.
You emailed me?
Yeah.
What about? Look at this. We're all just communicating. I know. You'd send me the Tushy thing.
Yeah.
Not the first time you've emailed me a Tushy thing. So here's the thing. It's saying ad lib a thing about buttholes. I'm not doing that. I'm going to ad lib how good Tushy is. I'm going to get right to the point. This is a killer bidet type product that I think is good for both you and good for the environment. I said last week, we've got enough stresses in our lives. The last fucking thing, we're worried about murder hornets, COVID, obviously. The last thing you want on top of all this is hemorrhoids. So how can you help prevent that? A bidet. Typically, over the years, bidets, very expensive. You saw the SNL bit where they're viewing the property and they're asking about the bidet. You seen that one, Pete?
I have not.
And the bidet, all their questions, they're either at a hotel or something. They're being shown a place and they see that there's a bidet and they have a million questions. And all their questions are like, and the bidet, is this a like whatever bidet? It's exactly as good as I'm doing it. Hello Tushy attaches to your existing toilet, no electricity or additional plumbing needed, and it cleans your rear with a precise stream of fresh water, all for just $79. You can also get some Hello Tushy toilet paper. We've got that. That's great. Using your Hello Tushy, like the actual bidet, it's going to cut toilet paper use by 80%. So it pays for itself by how much TP it's going to save you. Because with Hello Tushy, you don't wipe at all. Hello Tushy is your
Wait, with
bidet.
Hello Tushy, you don't wipe at all. That seems wrong.
You can dry, yeah. Just give it a few seconds.
I feel like that's not scientifically proven.
I mean, look, you know me. I am all for pushing back on the copy. I am all for.
I mean, have you tested this yourself? Are you just not wiping anymore?
I'll be honest. I've done the bidet and wipe. I've always been a bidet and dry. I don't like wipe. Wiping is you're
a patter.
Right. Yes.
Bidet and pat.
Yes, bidet and pat.
Okay.
It's the Netflix and chill of 2020. Every Hello Tushy bidet attachment comes with a 60-day risk-free happy butt guarantee and a 12-month warranty. Those weren't dramatic pauses. Those were, I'm about to say happy butt. Yep. Stop wiping your butt and start washing and join the millions of happy Hello Tushy customers right now. Plus, Hello Tushy is the perfect gift for the holidays. Get 10% off plus free shipping right now at hellotushy.com/brunch. That's hellotushy.com/brunch for 10% off and free shipping. hellotushy.com/brunch. Tell you what, that was relatively painless.
Yeah, you did a good job. Way better than I did a couple weeks ago. I will say, I'm not a big fan of how many times they say, like, hey, stop wiping. Because I would love to cut down on the wiping, but I think that at the very least there should be a security wipe involved.
You are saying, you are saying defund toilet paper.
Yes, not.
They are saying
eliminate.
abolish
Yes.
toilet paper, and there's at least a conversation to be had there.
Meet in the middle somewhere.
That I think both sides will make salient points. So, all right, want to do, what do we do? Do we end the episode with Feitelberg?
Yeah, why not?
Do episode, yeah, Feitelberg.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a teacher, because we're on episode 8.
I don't know, man.
I think it was the 8th episode. I had very high hopes. I don't know. You know when you just have a feeling, you're just like something's gonna break your way? I don't, but I thought I had that feeling last night, where I was like, you know what? Claire was getting out of jail soon. I think we're seeing Matt. And even if it's like she goes by to see him and he's in the middle of band practice and he's like, look, the guys are here. I can't talk. And maybe like lingers for a second, or as she's like walking away, there's like all right, the pickup of measure 16. Here we go. 2, 3. And then they jump in and you at least like, I don't know, maybe I just want a taste of that band. Even if I like hear what, like, just give me like, what key is one of your songs in? Give me anything. Like, yeah.
I want her to stop by the house and then leave. And then as she's leaving the house, you just hear, cut my life into pieces.
Fighting all the time. This is out of line. She loves me not. Loves me not.
No, but alas, no Matt in this episode. This was a full Claire episode. Well, I guess that's not true.
Oh, yeah, right. Full Claire, feat Eric. But it's kind of in like a We Are Young is fun featuring Janelle Monáe, where you're like, sure, but not really.
Right.
Yeah, it's full Claire. She's out of jail, and it's everybody hates her. Everybody is. I will even say, certainly not to defend what Claire did, but unfairly mean to Claire.
Some people, yeah.
Understandable because they're really angry and they're horrified. But she pays a pretty dear price, and she gets out of jail with nothing, of course. And she's staying with her brother, the policeman who we know earlier from unknowingly kind of helping strengthen the relationship between Claire and Eric. There is a scene where I'm just too fucking in the weeds with this like Matt storyline. I'm like, it's unhealthy how much I am thinking of every scene potentially turning into maybe we get to hear Matt's band. But the scene where she says to her brother, Matt must be happy now that the divorce is pretty much finalized. And her brother says, I wouldn't say Matt's happy about much these days. And like, she wasn't going to do this. But I was like, if I were in Claire's shoes, I would be like, so like Alice in Chains not happy, or like where it's still rocks, or Father John Misty not happy where you're kind of turned on a little bit, or like The National not happy because nobody wants that last one, right?
And that is a foreshadowing of what's to come.
Oh yeah, dude, dude. I mean, I'm getting into clipping things. I clipped mainly just clipping that that performance of the Beach Boys where Mike Love is auto-tuned and sounds like Tom DeLonge. It's really gotten me into clipping things. I'm like joining the Pete train. You tried to show me how to clip things, but like I'm into clipping things. I clipped that Father John Misty leaving LA. This new shit really makes me want to die. I'm going to be using that a lot going forward.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was like a brief mention of Matt in this episode, and then that was it. Do we see Matt again? I don't think that there's a reason to see Matt again.
So
I guess.
I don't want to hear that. I know that it's realistic, but like, I don't want to throw in the towel like that.
Neither did Matt, but I think that his hand was forced.
I know, but I'm not throwing in the towel. I think that if I'm a betting man, it's unlikely we see Matt. But there's still, I think, 2 more episodes. That's as many teams as we're interested in Tom Brady and free agency. That's a lot, man.
That's true. Since Claire does sort of push away Eric in this episode, that I think that maybe sets up like she's going to try to make it work with Matt. She's going to try to be an adult. She's going to say, can we fix this? And we haven't yet seen Matt dunk on her yet. He hasn't dunked on her once.
Oh, that's true.
Like there's got to be one opportunity for him to dunk on her.
There's well, I'll toss some Shameless into here. I'm watching Shameless. I'm like, it's so sad. In like a week and a half, I'm on season 7 or something. It's
Jesus.
It's really, but I've told you, did I tell you my trick with watching Shameless?
No.
I put it on as I'm falling asleep, and I probably miss like 5 episodes every time I do that, but I don't go back and watch those episodes because the show is so like sad, but also like the reality of a lot of people in their situation that I'm like, I know what happens. Like they don't catch a break and somebody fucks them over and they shoot themselves in the foot. Anyway, there was an episode where Fiona, the main character, that's what's her name? Why can't I think of her name? Shameless, main character. I'm so bad with names right now.
Matt's name. You know Matt's name.
That's true. It is sad. That's like the only name that I remember. Emmy Rossum. Jesus, DJ. Emmy Rossum's character's name is Fiona, and she dates a musician, and we get to hear his band all the fucking time. So maybe that's why I'm so into Shameless. But she marries this musician, cheats on him with her ex. They are in the process of getting divorced, and he asks her to come see his band play. And they haven't gotten divorced yet. He says, hey, come see my band play. She says, sure. I cheat on you all the time. It's the least I can do. And he says, this song is for my wife. It's called The F Word. And he's singing about how he'd been avoiding the F word his whole life. And you're thinking, it's really painting the picture of like, ooh, I get it. It's kind of like a country song. He's saying the F word is family. Like, he never thought he'd settle down. And then he says, but then I met her, Fiona. And you're like, the F word is Fiona. He's like, and then Fiona started fucking everybody. And you're like, ooh, the F word is indeed fuck. And the whole song is like, fucking Fiona fucks this guy, fucking Fiona fucks that guy. And there's a very funny storyline where Oscar Nunez is her divorce attorney, and he's terrible at his job. And his big thing is, I'm going to be able to get you half the royalties on this song that no one fucking cares about and has heard because this guy plays in a shitty band like Matt. So, I don't know, maybe there could be one of those things. Although I know.
Revenge song?
Right.
From Matt's band?
Tell you what, I'm turning the show off if he says, because Fiona's name starts with an F.
Yeah.
If Matt does that with Claire.
The C word?
Turning that off right away. Wiping my hands of the show. Obviously, like a lot of awful, horrible things happen in that show, but if he says, unless it's like a pirate joke where he's C word. But otherwise, like, I don't care if it was 2013, dude. It's being aired in 2020 or 2014, whatever it was. So, I mean, this episode flew too. This episode flew. They all do.
They all do because they're all like 24 minutes long.
Too short.
Yeah.
Too short.
It's a drama that's 24 minutes per episode. What are we even doing here?
The handshake meme of a teacher is number of minutes in the episode and number of years lived by one of the people in this relationship. And
oh God,
the handshake is just not
enough.
not nearly enough. might wanna work on that. Okay, we got like 10 minutes before Feitelberg jumps in. So let's talk about Happiest Season, which is a movie that honestly you're gonna have to fill me in on because I saw some of it, but it's I forgot the name of it. I thought it was called 'Tis the Season.
No.
Probably because of the Taylor Swift song, 'Tis the Damn Season. Searched for 'Tis the Season on my remote, and it said there was a documentary about carolers, about like the most high-profile Christmas carolers, and I was like, ooh, I might for real watch this instead of watching this movie that we're planning on watching. But I didn't. I watched some of it. It's Kristen Stewart and Mackenzie Davis are a couple that goes to Mackenzie Davis's family's place for Christmas, but there's a twist. Mackenzie Davis doesn't tell Kristen Stewart that her parents don't know that she's gay, let alone in a relationship. So,
and
from what I picked up,
her parents are a political family.
Okay,
and so like they have to like keep it a secret because her dad's in the middle of a campaign and they think it would be distracting, like yada, yada, yada. But very distracting is the fact that her dad is like a local councilman who's running for like local mayor. Who cares?
right,
It's not a real political job.
right. Just like, first of all, like, do people dig up dirt on that?
Right, for like a local council.
You're like, right, a small town. Like, I'm not.
He's
I
like
mean, you said it's not a.
He's trying to like secure like political funding for his campaign. It's like, you guys are clearly rich.
Right.
Like, what do you need here?
Yeah. My big takeaway was just Mackenzie Davis. Actually, I had two big takeaways. I think you would disagree on one of these, but one of my takeaways is unbelievably shitty girlfriend move or shitty partner move, whatever, to be like, hey, you're going to meet my family. That's a huge step. And I'm sure there's a lot of stresses that are going through Kristen Stewart's mind as she's about to meet her girlfriend's family. To then be like thrown that as like a last second, like, oh, also real quick, you have to pretend you're straight and that you have a boyfriend because their nightmare is our love.
You're right.
Okay, go.
And everybody in this movie is going to dunk on you at any given chance over the fact that you're an orphan.
Oh,
It's a
really?
very, very common thing in this movie. Like, it's like, oh, you're the orphan. This must be very sad for you. Just constantly bringing up the fact that both of her parents are dead.
Oof. What is? Oh man. So there's so many themes with Christmas movies recently. Dead parents. I liked the storyline of the high school. I guess they were just like, they weren't a couple, but two people hooking up, one of whom was closeted, and what both of them had to go through, I thought was interesting and good that they're putting shit like that in movies. But my other takeaway from the movie was that, so the movie's called Happiest Season. I would have called it I Saw Mom-I Kissing Santa Claus, because this movie was eye porn.
A lot of beautiful people in this movie.
A lot of, I mean, as couples go, give me a better eye couple than Kristen Stewart and Mackenzie Davis.
I can do that because Mackenzie Davis is a worse looking version than Allison Williams.
I agree that, and I thought this independently of you bringing that up. She definitely looks like she could play Allison Williams' sister. They look very similar, and I don't know, the beauty's in the eye of the beholder to whoever you want to say is hotter, prettier, whatever. But Mackenzie Davis has great eyes. And and I love Kristen Stewart's eyes. Like really, it's like a very distinct eye. It's so weird. But
I mean, you're not wrong. I think that like Mackenzie Davis has a bit of like she like is a little frightening. I don't know how to put it without like sounding mean, but like she looks like she could snap and kill you. I mean, in the same way that like Sarah Paulson has that look to her too. Like they're both very pretty, but like they seem like they could be really scary.
That's why we're answering a lot of questions right now. That's why I'm saying like big Mackenzie Davis fan.
Okay, fair enough.
You're like, that seems horrifying.
I think that she's like the fourth hottest woman in this movie.
Unbelievable. No brainer, really. Casting choice, Mary Holland to play Mackenzie Davis's sister. We could do a whole episode on like who would be good to play relatives.
Yeah.
And I guess that's just saying like what actors kind of look alike. Like bootleg Tom Hardy and I always forget the other guy's name, could play like brothers, right? They could play twins pretty much.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
It did get me thinking about, I didn't complete this list, so this is a very much an incomplete thought, but like most attractive couples in movies or TV shows.
Oh, I don't know. That list is way too long. I would have to like investigate that.
You have to put a lot of thought into it, but I was like really like, I mean, like sure, like you got your like Tomei and Pesci's of the world. That classic one.
Just really like carrying the weight there.
Right, but I mean, it's Issa Rae and Jay Ellis is probably the number one.
Unbelievable.
John Hamm and January Jones is also making an.
Also, Issa Rae and and whoever plays Nathan, because that guy is unbelievable.
Issa Rae and Issa Rae is like Patrice Bergeron. Like whoever's
on her line,
whoever is on Issa Rae's line is in just a really hot couple. I can't put my finger on why.
You know who looked unbelievable in this movie was Aubrey Plaza, and everybody.
I didn't get to her.
Everybody loves Aubrey Plaza, and I think that for the most part, everybody can agree that Aubrey Plaza is very good looking. I don't know what it was about in this movie. I think she looked older. Okay. She looked like older and more distinguished, and it just like really did it for me. She looked great in this movie.
I mean, Aubrey Plaza is.
It was also very cool to see her play like a normal person.
Oh, cool. So where like Billy Eichner usually plays like a man in hysterics.
Yeah.
We were all so impressed and like, I don't know, say, like refreshed by the Friends Felix character in Friends from College. His fucking name I remember. God. I want to see the rest of this movie so I can see Aubrey Plaza as a non like menacing character.
Yeah, she's legitimately sort of like a pillar of support and just like a normal adult.
Word.
And the voice of reason. And it was very strange, but also like very refreshing to see that she's getting like a chance to be a normal character.
All right, so we got Feitelberg in a minute. Do we want to have either you tell me what happens, or we make this a two-parter Happiest season episode and we pick it up next week?
I think there's a lot to talk about in this movie, especially just in a general sense. So I'll allow you to finish it, and I'll allow the listeners who want to check it out. It's on Hulu. So if you want to check out the second half of this unbelievable cliffhanger review, go ahead and do that before next week.
It's called Happiest Damn Season by Taylor Swift. Tell her Swift. Tell her to play the song swiftly. Okay, let's do you like that clip, by the way?
What, Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift, yeah.
I hate it.
So again, that's something
I hate any clip from that stand-up out of context. It's the worst.
Tell her to play it swiftly. Okay, here's Feitelberg. Feitelberg, we're just explaining to you that this isn't going to end with us saying goodbye. So if there's any love you guys, dude, like great talking to you that you want to do, get out of your system now, because this is definitely ending with one of the three of us mid-sentence.
That's great. I love an Irish goodbye on a podcast. I mean, that's best of both worlds there. I don't have to go outside and I can still Irish goodbye.
Yeah, we should just do that anyway, Pete. We should just like hang up on guests. It's like once we get what we need, just like edit it in real time. Or like a guest says like a great line or something that's going to be the open or something. Just be like, okay, got what we needed. Fucking toodles.
It is one of the things I've missed the most about the pandemic is just Irish goodbye. Like, we don't get to do that anymore at all. So this will be my first time in probably 9 months, 10 months, however long we've been doing this for.
Fuck, that is true. Yeah, like, we as humans, I mean, I've found my opportunities here and there, but we haven't really like let anybody down over this time.
Yeah, I missed the opportunity to not follow through on plans.
Right, like if I'm late to something, no one's like really fucked by that anymore. They're just like, oh well, okay. Like doesn't change it. Like, what do you have other shit to do?
You know who I do it to the most now? The only person I really let down, my therapist. I make up reasons every week why I can't do it. I'm just like, I'm not in the right headspace for therapy, so I'll just like get on and I'll make up something. I'll be like, look, I got to go do work. And she's like, okay, you didn't give me 24-hour heads up on that, so I got to charge you still. I was like, it's cool. I'd rather pay than have to have this conversation right now. So I'll see you later.
So that makes me want to ask this because I have desperately needed therapy during this time, but there's just, I don't know how good you are about always having a therapist. And like my move is usually like when things are going well, I grab a therapist because I'm like, all right, I need to have some momentum. And like this person needs to at least kind of know how I tick for when shit is going
bad. You just want to brag to somebody is what it is. Right. Like, I'm going to pay you and you have to listen to me brag about how well things are right now.
You're just fucking like, okay, you there are two words in your vocabulary. It's sounds good or that's fucking sick. You want to give me a fist bump from time to time? I'm all for it. But yeah, I typically grab a therapist when things are going well. So once things aren't going well, like I have someone ready. But I've been out of the therapy game for a little bit, well before the pandemic started, and I've definitely needed somebody to talk to, but I haven't done it. Are you doing it remotely or are you going in?
No, remotely, and that's why I always just cancel because I'm like, this just isn't for me. Like just the remote aspect of it. I'm like this. I always feel like someone's listening. Sometimes I'll do it and I'll be like in the KFC radio studio, and I'm like, these mics are definitely on, so I like won't be like fully forthcoming, and I'm just like, this is a waste of my time.
So that's why I won't do it, because if it's remotely, like everything's listening to everybody all the time,
right?
Like that freaks me the fuck out. But I just can't look into a computer screen and be like, hey, like what the fuck is wrong with me? I mean, I do it every week for this fucking podcast, but to do like an honest what the fuck is wrong with me? Like I do fun what the fuck
Alexa
is wrong with
at
me?
home is going to be like, oh, is DJ sad?
No, so that's the thing. Like, it's not even that. I guess like I need a therapist to unpack why I'm so afraid of doing any sort of virtual therapy. But like,
I was the same way when it started because I'd been seeing her, and then when it started, I was like, like when the pandemic started, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna push this off, and like we'll take a little break, and then when we can be back in person, I'll come back in. And because it's so narcissistic of me to be like, well, like I'm sure someone will be recording me. Like no one gives a fuck about you, dude. Shut up and just go do your therapy session. But I said the same thing. I was like, maybe that's something to unpack. But then once it went like 3 months, I was like, I guess I'm gonna have to do this a little bit. And it's been underwhelming for me. I don't strongly recommend it, but that's probably because you have the same issues as me, where I'm just like, someone's listening and I'm not being honest with you, and it's just no one's getting their money's worth here.
Oh, that's the worst. Lying in therapy. I mean, I've done it so fucking much, but when someone's like, so you explain something that happened, you explain how you're feeling, they know you enough, but like not quite as well as you know you, and they're like, so does that remind you of anything, or do you think that there's any sort of cause for that? And like your head is like, it is so fucking this, like, oh my god, it is this fucking thing. And I just wait like 45 seconds, and now as I say, I'm afraid of like my therapy being like recorded. I'm just doing like blow by blow what I do in therapy. Wait like 45 seconds, and I'm like, no.
No, couldn't tell you the origin story of that one.
I don't. One time I like tried to guess like a fake answer, and the dude, I was seeing a male therapist, which in general, for whatever reason, I have like this weird bias against male therapists, but he was just like, nah, dude, that's not it. Try again.
What are you, the dumbest person I ever met in my life? Shut up. Like, let me handle this.
Yeah. So I mean, it would be super befitting of this podcast to have Feitelberg on to talk Taylor Swift, and then get to the 40-minute blow up without a second of Taylor Swift. But this seemed right to have you on. We've talked Bieber with you. We've done all sorts of shit with you back in the day on this podcast. But you're like
Reputation, I believe.
Yeah. You are. I mean, you are there are Taylor Swift stans, and a big issue with Taylor Swift with me is like how I navigate the existence of Taylor Swift stans and how they tick. But like you are like you're the fucking head of the snake, man. If you want to stick with like a reputation analogy, you're the fucking head of the snake. So we saw
that's a real honor.
We saw that yesterday or the day before, you did like a 2-hour Chicks in the Office, Taylor Swift, like fuck yeah, Evermore, FOLKMOST, whatever you want to call it, like this big fucking celebration, and you looked so fucking happy, and glad you had fun then, because this is gonna fucking like welcome to hell.
Dude, I actually, as we were starting this, I was just thinking, because I remember the first time you spoke up, not first time you spoke up about it, but I think like one of your original comments on Folklore was like, I'm going to wait for the euphoria to die down before we get honest about it. And I was just like, not interested, DJ. Like, I have no desire to have honest conversations about it. And I feel like you didn't have the same, and maybe I definitely might have just missed it. I feel like you might have liked Evermore more.
Oh,
or is that not?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed,
Okay,
Ludacris. I'm hotter than Nevada. And Pete figured this out. Like, I don't know. There's this fucking weird thing where, like, especially with like Taylor Swift analysis, where like you kind of keep track of people's live tweets, and like, cause you just want to, you can't text everybody and you can't call everybody, but you do want to know, like, how do people feel about this? Is my thought unique? Is it crazy or whatever? So, Pete and I had seen like enough of each other's live tweets or whatever, and Pete was like, dude, I think that we're doing the opposite of what we had with Folklore, because I thought that Folklore was underwhelming, half-baked, just wasn't for me. Like, a lot of people were like, hey, this is good. This is pretty good. And I was like, this is fucking fine. And I feel that Evermore is pretty good. And Pete feels it's fine. Pete.
Yeah, I'm totally siding more towards Folklore than I am Evermore at this point. But one of my favorite parts of a Taylor Swift release is deciphering how genuine Feitelberg's reactions are, because obviously anytime Taylor Swift does anything, John's gonna say, "Oh, it's the best fucking thing in the world. She's the greatest. She did it again." And so literally every time she does something, I'm like, "All right, time to put on my detective hat and figure out if he actually likes this one as much as he says that he does."
I honestly didn't. There was a stretch where like I didn't like. I thought 1989 was fine. I thought Reputation was fine. And then once Lover kicked into gear, that's when I went back into like over the top obsession with her. And it was like between Lover, then between like the genuine like how the Kim and Kanye situation came to be, and like hearing that voicemail, because like it had always irked me where I was like, she's definitely in on this or something, and hearing the full voicemail, it's like, oh, that's actually uncomfortable to listen to. It's like an adult man bullying I don't know what she was at the time. I'm gonna guess she was mid-20s, and like bullying a girl into being overly sexualized and shit like that. I was like, this is weird and creepy to listen to. So that's when I went all the way back, fully in. Everything she does is perfect.
So
like,
if it was,
and that's like the opposite of my experience with Taylor, because like I was
on the come down.
I was full in on like 1989. That was my peak Taylor experience, and then I liked Reputation, and then Lover. I started to be like, I can leave a lot of this, and then I was back in on Folklore.
So I think that
1989 and Reputation both were like, where she got so over the top with releasing her Bad song as a first single, where it was just like, I was like, I'm just sick of this. Like, why like, this is the bad song. That's why you're putting it out first. Why even have this on the album?
Fuck yeah. So my one of my revelations with this album, speaking of that, is that as I was listening to Folkmore, and I was like, hey, like a lot of these songs, like these are better than the songs that were on Folklore. Was she just like stretching, getting warmed up with Folklore? Then I was like, holy shit, Folklore was the fucking bad lead single. Yeah. That album was the fucking bad lead single that she puts out there to see like how are people going to react to this. And typically this was back when people were honest with themselves. They would hear Shake It Off and be like, there are no notes in this song. This is a bad fucking song, man.
Bad song.
Like, this is a bad song. And then like as like over time, like I feel like Me's the only exception where people just will not do the, hey Taylor, you can do better. Like Me came out and people were like, yo, what the fuck is this? But other than that,
that's
people
not true.
generally
on Reputation, look
what you made me
do.
Yeah, that's true.
People were like, what the fuck is this?
But you know what? I mean, as we get nostalgic with Taylor Swift and as we reflect back, like I fucking ride with Reputation. That is
really.
Yes, Reputation. Oh, yeah. Dude,
I came way around on Reputation for sure.
Reputation is fucking weird, and all I ask for with Taylor Swift, not all I ask for. Like she can do whatever the fuck she wants. People's reactions might upset me if they're over the top, but Taylor Swift's a fucking good musician, man, and she's a good songwriter. Is she the best songwriter? No, I would say no one's asking her to be, but some people are fucking declaring her the best songwriter. Won't name any names here. So like Taylor Swift's fucking good, man. She works with cool artists, and she's got all the resources. She got a direct line to Max Martin. Whenever the fuck she wants, she can make some of the most fun trite pop we've ever fucking heard, you know? So like I'm in on that. It's the hey, she puts out something kind of bland and people are like, hey, she's the fucking goat. But yeah, Reputation, I love because she was like, hey, I'm going to try to do some different shit. Are there going to be misses? Yeah, I probably shouldn't be rapping. Yeah, I shouldn't rap for a second verse.
Whoa. Hang on a second here. Because guess what?
You like ready for it?
I'm ready for it. The third best rapper on that song is Future. Well, the third best verse on that song. I'm going to say rapper as a whole. The third best verse on that song is Future. It goes Sheeran 1, Taylor 2, yeah. Future 3.
So, I mean, definitely Sheeran 1 on that song. Future did like the very smart thing of his phone rang and he was like, you got Future, and they're like, hey, Taylor Swift is going to pay you to be on a song. And he's probably like, sure.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like, there's no, maybe he's like, okay, but I'm really short on time. We're not going to be able to like talk about the song or like ideas. We're not going to be able to brainstorm. I'm going to have to send you the verse in like 25 minutes. Is that cool? And they're like, yeah, sure. And he's like, okay, cool. I'm going to take 23 minutes to fucking laugh. And then I'm going to take the 25th minute, 24th minute, whatever, to just throw something down.
Yeah, I mean, I for sure wouldn't waste any bullets if I was Future on on using bars in a Taylor Swift song.
Dude, if I fucking phoned Carlos Santana and was like, hey, I'm doing this Vineyard Nights project. Here are my thoughts on it, whatever. He'd be like, and you're paying me to do this? Be like, yeah. He'd be like, oh, yeah, sure. It's great. Just fucking send it to me. I'll send something back. And,
you're paying my full rate? Done. Yeah. Okay.
Taylor Swift basically paid for a Future cameo on cameo.com.
yeah, that's all that is. So like, and I'm not the biggest Future guy, but like, I don't hear that song and be like, oh man, Future got murdered. Like Future just like passed.
Yeah. I mean, that's right. You're right.
But yeah, man, I fuck with Reputation because she's just trying to do some weird shit, and not all of it worked, but like, I love Look What You Made Me Do. I'm always going to defend that. I love This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things. As somebody who fears the Jack Antonoff homogenation of pop music, I listen to that album and I'm like, do it, Jack. Good fucking job, man.
Also, that album translated really well to live. Saw it twice and it was an awesome show.
Oh my God. One of the best experiences was,
I can see that.
I don't know, like 10-yard line at Mercedes-Benz Stadium with all of these unbelievably spoiled kids and their parents. We were the only like
adults.
Right. We were like the only like people in the world. Like it was kids and their parents. And it was you, me, and Randy just fucking going for like drunk, like throwing beers at each other. This is why we can't have nice things. One of us took like a selfie video of like I can't even say that with a straight face, like with that part where she cackles. We were fucking, that was like the height of my life. So I never want to be misconstrued as a Taylor Swift hater. I might occasionally hate Taylor Swift stans because it does drive me crazy that like my thesis with Taylor Swift is popcorn movies typically don't get nominated for Oscars, right?
Right.
So like all I ask is we treat music the same way. You know?
But she like most recently, has she been nominated for a lot of Grammys? Like did 1989 and Reputation get nominated?
1989 won
Best
album of the year. It beat it beat Kendrick Lamar, which was like history's not gonna look back too kindly on that. They're gonna listen to both those albums and be like, holy shit, like a seminal work from like one of the great musicians ever. Who won that year? Taylor Swift put out an album. It was
Shake It Off. I believe the opening two songs of that album are Shake It Off and Welcome to New York. And like that.
Yeah, Welcome to New York is the first song off that album, which is just a horrible start.
Well, Welcome to New York is, I went back and I like read my like rankings of Taylor Swift songs when she'd put out albums, and I was like, what songs did I like? What did I think were good? What did I think were bad? Like, how do I feel about them now? And there was like a pretty solid graph being like, Welcome to New York is just a fucking symphony of unimpressive shit. Of like stupid lyrics. Like
It is a song. It's a song from a person who visited New York one time and was like, I'm from here now.
Right. I'm going to college here. Like we all did that. Went to New York when we were kids. We were like, I'm supposed to be a New Yorker. Also, and this will tie into Folkmore. 1989, she had like a lot of I just listened to The Blessed Unrest by Sarah Bareilles vibes going on, which was like the album where Sarah Bareilles moved to New York and wrote a lot of songs that were like both what she was going through and tying in the city. And there's so many moments on 1989 that reminded me of that album that I figured she was probably listening to Sarah Bareilles at the time. Some of that is back with Folkmore. There are multiple songs with like 'Tis the Damn Season is like that. Tolerate, it's kind of like that. Happiness is like that, which I don't mind. But the big point I want to make with this is, Feitelberg, it seems like you have like some real Taylor Swift nostalgia, that you loved Lover, which was more like kind of clean, bubblegummy stuff. And then Folklore and Folkmore have a lot more like speak now, fearless kind of moments. So like, is that so if you're not all the way in on like 1989 Reputation is like your favorite era, was it like the shit pre that's your favorite?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I loved Red. I loved Fearless. I love Speak Now. I loved just the self-titled album. That was when I like really Tim McGraw. I was in on Taylor Swift the moment she came into the world, and Tim McGraw probably until Shake It Off, she could never do any wrong.
All right, so what songs do we like on this album? We're gonna do it. Pete and I explained in the intro to this podcast what we're gonna do. Which the thing is gonna be, we each pick 6 songs, and then at the end, whenever we want, a person can say, "Hey, I'm getting rid of that song that you just put on." We each get to play one of those cards, so you got to use it strategically. But in general, like, I think this album is an improvement on Folklore. I think that like. I love there's 2 Haim songs on this album. One of them actually has Haim, but fucking Long Story Short is one of the more Haim songs to not actually be by Haim. Like there's so many more songs on this album that I thought made sense to actually be on the album versus Folklore, which like I would have lopped off like 6, 7, 8 songs from that album.
I tend to lean with Pete, where I think Folklore is better, but they're both. I have one on this that I think you're not going to like. I don't get Haim. I want to get him. I know you two. I know I'm on a Haim podcast. I really want to, because I think people whose music opinions I respect and people who I think are largely cool are always like, Haim's good. And it just doesn't work for me. I can't get it to snap in.
Haim's fucking cool, man.
Haim's awesome. And I don't understand that. I don't understand, like, I don't get Haim, because I feel like Haim offers something for everybody.
That's so true.
You know what? It's probably just a cop-out in the sense that I haven't liked the few things I've never done like a deep dive on their catalog.
You gotta.
The few things I've heard, the few things I pointed out, they're not bad, although I do think Nobody, No Crime is pretty blah. But what I've heard, it's on me. It's my responsibility to go do a deep dive in the catalog, and I just haven't been inspired to do that.
So think of it this way.
Let me ask you that here. How do you feel about the National?
I love the National.
I don't get the National.
I
don't get it.
Okay. So
They are that's probably the biggest artist where like I really have fucking tried. I've gone to see them live twice. Like I've done fucking virtual therapy over this. I can't do anything to get myself to like.
And it's infuriating because they attach themselves onto like so many things that I like, and it's like, well, there's got to be some common ground here where like they love everybody that I love, and everybody that I love loves the National. Why don't I get it? Why isn't it working for me?
When I hear
you just don't like their individual projects, because like obviously you like Folklore,
right,
like Evermore.
When I hear Matt Berninger's voice, I just like I can see my dead body. I'm just dead.
Get that, because on Coney Island, like I just think it doesn't even work. I think Coney Island is a bad. I just don't think, as someone who like I don't really have like an ear for music. Certainly not like you two do. Like I can't tell you how music even really works, like what instruments playing here and that. And so like I'm more like lyric based. But even just hearing like the juxtaposition of his voice and Taylor's in Coney Island, I'm like, you guys just don't sound right musically together. Why is this song on South?
I agree with that.
So dynamically, it's very illogical to follow a girl singing with a baritone, like a guy who's like kind of droning on, because you're just like you're going from high to low, but like energy wise, it's insane. Like you typically when you go from first verse, second verse, third verse, chorus, whatever, like you always want to introduce something new, something that kind of ramps it up a little bit more. And bringing in that dude, no matter what just happened before it, like there could be silence for 5 minutes and then he starts singing and you'd be like, well, we've downshifted here.
He's like Eeyore. He's like Eeyore for music. Did Behringer, did he lead off that Churches song? I believe so.
I don't remember. That's another one I listened to like maybe twice, and I was like, okay, time to die.
I think that he came in first, but also like even in Exile on Folklore, it made way more sense to lead off with Justin. Justin comes in second on Evermore, and I don't think it works as well as it did on Exile.
Yeah, I don't like. I think that Evermore is a very good half of a song, and when he comes in, I'm like, fuck, man, I was promised
cohesive.
something here.
Yeah, it's not as cohesive as like Exile, because like when he comes in on Evermore, it really feels like he wrote that part and it was just attached to what Taylor wrote.
They're like, yeah, he's like, okay, I got a part. What song did you say this key was in? And she's like, E. She's like, your part's in E, and he's like, yeah, don't listen to it. Just I'm gonna send it to you.
It's gonna work.
Add it on, print it. It's fine. But yeah, overall, I just like this album more. We got like 13 minutes left, so should we?
Jesus.
Yeah. So what should we do? Should we do a second session, or should we just?
Well, we should. Let's talk about like what songs we actually like from this one.
Okay. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, go ahead.
My favorite song on it, I don't know if it's the best song, but my favorite song on it is Closure.
Wow.
No,
wow.
DJ.
That's not on my list of. I have 7 songs that I think are better than fine on this album. That's not on my list.
Whoa.
I think Closure is a half a song. I think Closure, they never really get to any meat of a story.
So
you get a lot.
What you're saying is there's no closure.
I'm doing fine. You don't need to check in on me and all that shit. But like, there's never. I never think a story is told.
No closure.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what. I'll admit this. I don't care as much about the like, ooh, this song might be about that. I know that's like a great game that people play with Taylor Swift, because obviously like so much of her life has been like in the spotlight that you can say, okay, this is about Scooter, this is about this person, this is about that person. I generally like, I don't know, I'm kind of just like, does it bang? Not what's it about. But that's definitely like a fair, like that's part of the song too.
I also care what they're about, but I care more about how I can make it about myself, which is why I'm like so impossibly basic. Because like I'll hear a song, I'll be like, boy, that is me to a T, and fucking I don't know, 40 million other girls are like, yup, I agree, and I'm like, oh, I thought I was a moderately unique person, and it turns out I'm not at all. But like all of my favorite songs on this album are ones like I can make about myself, not like what Taylor intended them to be about.
Can't wait to hear about how much you love Champagne Problems.
I think Champagne Problems is very good, but it would be on my 6, but it wouldn't like, I don't think it's top 5. It's probably 5 or 6 for me.
So I think that Champagne Problems is I was insulted when I heard that song for the first time, because I listened to the first song, Willow, and I was like, this is fine. I would probably put this on. I would put this on an album before I would put a lot of the songs from Folklore on there. So we'll see where this goes. And then when I got to Champagne Problems, which, not to get all music theory on your asses, Pete knows this. There's a chord progression that a lot of people use, and it's like the most basic chord progression, very it's in every pop song. It's in You're Beautiful by James Blunt. That's been a very popular talking point on this podcast recently. It's on I would guess between like 10 and 15 Taylor Swift songs, and it's just lazy might be a mean word, but like it's kind of true. So when I heard that song and like nothing else to it, I was insulted that after putting out an album like Folklore that I thought was like not the worst, but not very good, and then getting an Album of the Year Grammy nom for it, then to hear what I heard as a lazy song, I was like, she is just fucking seeing what she can get away with right now. And you know what? I know in 3 minutes I'm gonna watch a fucking video of Feitelberg in tears saying it's the most moving thing he's ever heard. She's gonna fucking win because she always wins. I know she doesn't own her masters, and look, she's very, very rich. She should want to own her masters. That sucks, but generally, she always fucking wins, and she can't win on this one. We can't say that Champagne Problems is a fucking good song. That was
also I have a huge problem, and I think that this is probably a big reason why I lean folklore. I have a huge problem with the sequencing on Evermore. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I think that Willow is a very unspectacular song to start with, and going from that into Champagne Problems, I was like, oh my God, what are we doing here?
Well, and then I think these are probably, so as I'm looking at the track list right now, there's probably 5 songs on here that I'm like, whatever. It doesn't move the needle for me at all. And she starts with 3 of them.
Yeah,
Like
well,
putting those
I like
three in a row.
I like Gold Rush a lot.
yeah. I'm a Gold Rush guy.
It?
Gold
What?
Rush.
Really?
Yeah, Gold Rush saved my life. Fucking saved my life.
Yeah.
I was driving.
I was like almost
listening-
out on this album.
Yeah, I was driving home from work because Patriots had Thursday Night Football, so it was, I don't know, like 1 a.m. or whatever. Driving, heard Willow, and I was like, again, I just said my thoughts there. Heard Champagne Problems, and I was like, this is it. I'm a fucking dead man. I can't fucking live in a world where she's gonna win fucking back-to-back album of the year because of this shit that she's put. Like, I was like really fucking fired up, and then I heard Gold Rush, and I was like, ooh, all right, okay.
Real dude, Gold Rush I couldn't have been more than a minute into Gold Rush before I looked over at my girlfriend, and having not seen, the accreditations per track yet or whatever, I went, oh, this is Jack Antonoff, that motherfucker. Like, you could just tell, like, it was just way too Antonoff-y.
I was
right away. It's just like, all right, this is a lot.
There's a little shift. So that song kind of hovers around the tonic, which is like the kind of home base of the song for a little bit, and then when it shifts to the chorus, it goes to a chord that I don't know music theory well enough, but like a chord that I'm pretty sure is not actually like in the key. It's the flat 7, and I was like, ooh, that's really fucking cool. And I was like starting to text my friends about like, yo, that's a really cool fucking move that she did. And then I realized it's a move in Vineyard Nights, and that's why I was so impressed with it. I was like, ooh, this is some fucking next level. Ooh, Taylor, you genius. And then I was like, oh God, I'm such a fucking narcissist.
Yeah, I was very underwhelmed by the front half of this album. And I think the only thing that like kept me going was hearing Gold Rush and 'Tis the Damn Season. And that got me through the next couple. I thought that both of those songs were really good. 'Tis the Damn Season was interesting for me too, because I was like, does Taylor Swift have a hometown hookup? Like, does Taylor Swift go home for Thanksgiving and be like, don't text him, don't text him, don't text him?
So, yeah, and that's maybe why I don't read into Taylor Swift songs, because I'm like, your life is just so fucking different than mine. Like, right. I can't possibly. And I'm fucking vain like everybody else. Like, I'll hear Father John Misty's song. He's got a depressing enough line. I'm right there with you, buddy. I'm like, yes, he's singing to me, for me. This is, yes. With Taylor Swift, like, I don't know, like, hey, like I saw an old face, anything like that. I'm like, I just imagine you live this life where it's just like, okay, bring in who I perceive to be a perfect person after who I perceive to be a perfect person. Just like,
yeah, you think she's got a guy in Western Pennsylvania who works at a Jiffy Lube and like gets excited for Thanksgiving so he can see Taylor.
The thing is, yeah, I think maybe that exists.
That'd be fucking rad. I would
because she is like so into
true.
love that like even somebody that she like thought that she loved when she was 15 or 16, she probably goes home and thinks about him.
Dude, this song has, I said this on the Chicks in the Office podcast. I did something that's just completely inexplicable to this song. I was listening to it in the shower yesterday, I don't know, at some point this weekend, and in 'Tis the Damn Season, I've never earnestly done this move ever in my life.
Uh-oh.
And during 'Tis the Damn Season, in the chorus, I fucking dabbed. Like it was just like, I was like, what the fuck was that, John? But it kind of worked. And I was
Oh,
like,
dude,
it's the damn season.
Right. So I honestly, I think that's appropriate because I do think that this song has a. I associate this move with Justin Bieber, and he probably stole it from somebody. But this song definitely does have like a. What's the dance move called where like you're pulling something down? Like we can even.
Yeah.
Little Dicky does it a lot. You know, it's like this thing. Great radio, but yeah, this.
It's like you're doing chin ups. It's like little mini chin ups.
Right. So like I don't. But yeah, if you're doing like we can.
I think what you're actually doing is flashing your watches, but I don't know for sure, but I would think that's what the move is.
Is that's a man with 2 watches showing up with watches.
Check it. You guys want to buy some watches?
Open the jacket. It's like the cherry on top.
Yeah, so those 2 songs got me to the back half, and then I really think this album kind of like saved itself in the back half, which is it's a weird thing to say because I think that like 2 of my favorite songs come from the front half. Like again, those 2 songs that I was just talking about, plus No Body No Crime, are all on my list of 7. But then in the back half, I think that like there are no real misses going.
I think Coney Island misses.
Coney Island miss.
Yeah, but so when I say the back half, I think I start with Ivy is when it starts to save itself because I think that Ivy is the best song in this album.
Oh wow! I mean, I like the bridge of Ivy a lot. Like, I think that my takeaway from Ivy was like, if this is an album track, meaning like it's not a single, no one expects to be a single, then this is a good album that she's put out. Like, this is quality. I fucking like
That's
this song.
That's what I said about Folklore, and you said, snooze.
You thought that Folklore had a lot of those?
Yeah, I said that I thought that Folklore was a very cohesive album, and I think that like start to finish, there were very few misses.
It was a cohesive album. I call it folk snore.
Folklore doesn't have any misses.
That's what I'm saying.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. Exile. Exile is a skip.
What?
Yeah. Oh, Exile. Yeah.
Come on.
Exile's a skip. I don't want to get into. I don't want to shoot my wad on what songs I'm trying to eliminate, but I mean, the one comes to mind. The one sucks, man.
The one's a good song.
The one's good. The one's good.
The one's a good song.
Come on.
The one big trash.
The second she started, like this, that like set the tone for me for the whole night. When it's just like I'm doing good amounts of new shit. I was like, oh, let's go, Taylor. And then she proceeds to not be on much new shit at all. But but it still is a nice line. At least it's a good lie to tell.
I think Invisible String was my only skip on Folklore.
That one grew on me. That one was like
stupid song.
It didn't grab me at all at first, and it still isn't in my upper echelon of songs on it. But it's not a skip for me. One you're skipping here that I think is awesome is Dorothea. Dorothea, I think, is a great song.
That's one of my Dorothea, I think is, if she wants to go back to doing that, like, fuck yeah, she can make some fucking really great like country pop albums. I love that song. I want to hear Houndmouth play it. I think that Houndmouth would fucking murder it on that song. And that's a compliment that like this band I fucking love that does that type of shit all the time. Like,
yeah, but I think if your reaction to a song is, well, I'd rather hear somebody else play this song, it's not a good review for you liking it.
When that one first came on, I was openly weeping. I was like crying because again, like I care what her words are about, but I always just try to make.
Oh boy. Okay, so Feitelberg got his cut off. I was really hoping it wouldn't be me talking when it ended. So
I knew it was gonna be me. I knew it.
I thought it was you or me. I was like, Pete's sick. Pete might like start laying in the weeds once we get to like the 35-minute mark to be safe. Pete's a veteran at this. Before we get into the ranking, did want to ask you guys this. We haven't talked about Tolerate It, and you guys didn't like Closure. So did you like Tolerate It?
I love Tolerate It.
Okay, interesting.
I think that it is like, I think it's a really good song lyrically. I think it's like lyrically gutting, but the song itself doesn't really do a whole lot for me.
Okay, so I was gonna draw some connections there because Tolerate It and Closure are both in 5/4 time, which is extremely unusual for Taylor Swift. Don't think she'd ever done that before. She never uses odd time. Lover, I think Lover's a waltz, but like all of her songs are just like 1, 2, 3, 4, as much as most pop songs are. So it's like a different, weirder listen to hear that from Taylor Swift, where instead of 4 beats, there's 5. And that's why maybe like the closure, like the chorus is, I don't know. Everybody has said that the chorus to closure is annoying. I actually think it's really cool. And I also like that she says "got," super fucking weird.
I think the chorus is fine of closure. I just don't think she ever like finishes a story. I think it's just like, yeah, we get like, you're rejecting closure. You don't want letters asking how I've been. Like, fuck off. We're not together anymore. It doesn't matter. But I thought I was very much with Pete on Tolerated in the sense that like it's just like lyrically and it just destroys you. And that was an easy one to, because like I said, like when you're talking about being in like 5/4 time or whatever, I don't even know what you're talking about, DJ. I don't know what that even means. So like I don't have the ear to catch those things. I just
Shut
like
up,
I
nerd.
was listening to the lyrics and I was like, these are fucking heart-wrenching.
So the quick little explanation.
Okay.
4/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So that's how the song would go. 5/4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. And it's just kind of an odd meter that is done. Like people do it and they use it, but Taylor Swift doesn't use it. Taylor Swift is typically very, very safe, which is why when the greatest songwriter of all time platitudes get thrown around, you might as well play me the National because you've fucking killed me.
Here's a question that I have now. And are there any songs off this album, off Evermore, that you think you will like a lot more hearing it live, or like a studio version, like the Long Pond studio version? Because I came around on a few songs that I liked way more when I heard the Long Pond studio sessions.
Great song. I think I'm gonna really love I hope she plays Champagne Problems, because I'm just gonna love the relief of having had so much beer, just taking a little walk, peeing, not having to pee anymore. I'm gonna love that song live.
I think Cowboy Like Me. I think I would like a studio version of.
Yeah, I like Cowboy Like Me a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I like that song. That's on my short list for songs that I would keep from this album. I said Happiness. I think that Happiness is like just okay for me, but I think that has the feel of a song that will be really good when it's like just Taylor, like one of her like in the dark, like really slow in between big
Intimate
jams at a show. When she does that song is like a slow crawl and it's a slow progression. And I think that'll be like really good in that context.
Yeah, she likes to do and Bareilles does this. I'm not saying she necessarily got it from Bareilles, but since 1989, she's liked to do the kind of just like barely scraping the low note, where like she'll just like intentionally put in notes that are maybe a little low for her. So like when she misses them, it's just like very human. And you know what I'm saying? Like when she tries to like barely just like pushes out the sound. It's so fucking charming. And she uses that move a lot. She does it on New Year's Day. She does it on New Year's Day. And I'm like, when I hear that, I'm like, she knows what she's doing. Like, that's not like an accidental, like, oops, we're going to need another take of that. It's like that sounds like really fucking
vulnerable.
Yes, vulnerable. Yes, exactly. It sounds really vulnerable, which like that's where you tip your cap with the production songwriting chops. Capital letters. Can we just admit that was stupid? The lowercase letters.
Yeah,
very focus grouped.
Everybody's doing that now too. Like I went through my Spotify Wrapped for the year, and like half of the songs are lowercase letters, and I'm just like, this is not cool anymore. Everybody's doing it, so just stop doing it.
It stopped being cool like 5 years ago. I feel like it's not even like a recent thing where it's been like, yeah, we've beaten this into the ground.
Even when people do it on Twitter now, I'm like, oh, come on, you're one of those people.
Oh yeah.
I used to be one of those people on Twitter, but I would just do it because it was just like it didn't. I tweeted from my computer most of the time, and it just didn't auto correct, auto caps lock. So like now I tweet from my phone most of the time. It auto caps locks. I was never like trying to be different, but I was that person for a while. But that was probably 6-7 years ago. But another thing that annoys me, and I've read that this is because of Alexa and things like that. All of the one-word song titles. That is just frustrating to me. Where it's like, I think that I was reading an article that, marketing groups or whatever are like coaching artists to have one-word titles because it's easier to tell Alexa to play it.
So
well, there's way more on Folklore than there are on Evermore. Like Folklore is almost everything.
Right, and but like we're looking at it here. There's probably 6 on here. Happiness, Dorothea, Ivy, Marjorie, Closure, Evermore. So 5, 6. It's just like, and they all work, but it's just when you see them all in a row like that, and it's only because so fucking people can yell across the kitchen to say play Alexa. And it's like, all right.
She's Walmart, man. She's a corporation, and fuck yeah, like good on her. But you are right. Like it's kind of been played out. Like Damn by Kendrick Lamar came out in 2017, and all the songs are caps lock, one word, period at the end. And I remember at the time being like, feels kind of whack to be still doing things like this.
Right.
That was 2017. So glad we
well, agreed. At least they're not Bon Iver, where it's like I don't even know what the song titles are because they're just fucking symbols. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to the fourth track on the 5th album that I can pronounce none of it.
Yeah. All right. Feitelberg, you said, and I hate to hold someone to what they said when they were either drunk or emotional or something. You seemed both. You said she's Tom Brady. You said after this album, she's Tom Brady. Because as Pete pointed out, you may have been doing quite a bit of the she's done it again. But you said she's Tom Brady. I would just like to submit to you. And I'll make jokes at the expense of Tom Brady all the fucking live long. It's a party. I would submit that she's Eli Manning. We're like, she's been around for a long time. Has she had great moments? You fucking bet. Like, but is she the greatest? Please.
She's the greatest at what she does. There's like,
cop out.
I'm not giving her
cop out.
It's a nice cop out. Yeah, I always keep that in my back pocket. I think Eli Manning is insane.
Yeah, that's a low comparison. Like
it's a negotiation. It's a negotiation. You come with Tom Brady. I start with Eli Manning. We meet in the middle. She's Phillip Rivers.
How about Drew Brees?
I think that she has enough great albums where you have to be like, well, I mean, she's the greatest pop star of our generation.
Drew Brees is actually fair because Drew Brees, the stands can be like, look at the fucking numbers.
Right.
Like look at the stats don't lie. And the haters can be like, well, she's been put in the perfect situation.
Like Drew Brees throws a lot.
Right. I mean,
look at the numbers. Well, yeah, he throws 50 times a game.
Right. Because he's Drew Brees, he plays in a dome and he has all the best receivers and he's in a really great situation. And then you're like, yeah, but I don't know, you stick one of us in there. We're not completing all those passes. But you're like, yeah, but if you stuck a better quarterback there, who the fuck knows? Like, I don't know. Like, what if all of Thundercats music was made with like fucking Max Martin and with all the fucking shit that Taylor Swift has at her disposal?
Yeah, well, I mean, people make these same arguments with
also
Brady's first 3 Super Bowls. She has the greatest defense. Like, how much did he actually do? No one else could have done it.
I just reverse the manned Taylor Swift accidentally. I was like, what if it was this popular male artist doing it instead? That was not my my intention. We're not going to get a solution on the Tom Brady thing, but I just at least wanted to submit that I think she's probably closer to to Eli. Like I'm not.
I think she's done what in the last 6 years? She's done 5 albums. One won a Grammy for album of the year, which you can make your arguments. one you think is the best one. You think Reputation's the best one. I think Lover is unbelievable. I think Folklore and Evermore are both great. I think when you're doing it that prolifically, that back to back, that close at a time, it's like, all right. I mean, like you just keep doing it. You've done 2 albums in 7 months this year. That is, I think both are great. I think you like one of them, and you kind of like the other one.
Oh,
someone like you even being like, well, this one's good and this one's pretty good. That's a huge thing. I feel like.
She's definitely put out. She's definitely made enough music this year to make a good album. And look, like very impressed that she put out all this stuff. She was probably working around the clock. Had a lot of people working around the clock on it. That's great. I learned the term poptimism this past week because somebody used it to describe how Taylor Swift fans are with Taylor Swift. And I was like, holy shit, I've been looking for this word my whole life with the Taylor Swift conversation. And it's the insistence that like top 40, more kind of trite, like easy, accessible pop be given the same like adulation as maybe more sophisticated works of music. And I'm like, that's all I'm fucking saying. Like I love Taylor Swift. I think that she's great. I fucking love listening to her music. Although I'll be honest, these past few years, I do have like a lot of stress and anxiety. Like I had a fucking meltdown when Folklore came out because I was like, yo, Pete, I got enough fucking stuff going on in my life right now. I don't need to fucking hear that this is the best thing in the world when it's not. And I'm going to get really fucking mad about it because I have this thing with Taylor Swift fans. But like, that's all I'm saying is I'll do she's like the greatest at what she's doing. Yeah. It's not the great. That's why I'll give Pitchfork a lot of credit. They tweeted out their link to their review. They were like, with Evermore, Taylor Swift is making her like most personal, vulnerable music. Yeah, like a lot of like really great descriptors. And then I clicked on it and it was like 7.9.
Well, that's what I mean. A 7.9 from fucking Pitchfork is a 10.
That's true. That's like a 50.
That is true. I can't wait for 10 years from now and they give it a 10 out of 10 because that's what Pitchfork does now.
I hate when they do that. Revisiting Steely Dan, they're so fun. I'm like, you would have been so fucking mean to Steely Dan, you assholes.
Like the only like good score Pitchfork gave this year was Fiona Apple, right? Like it was like their first 10 out of 10, which is obscene. But like, yeah, if you want to make the argument that like I don't know, it's music I don't care for. Like I don't want to listen to Fiona Apple. So if you want to say that what she's doing is musically more impressive through things that I just don't even recognize, then I guess, yes, I'll give you the better musician. But I just like, that's just stuff that's not even on my radar.
But I also feel the same way about like Taylor Swift and that I do about, I mean, we made this comparison earlier, like popcorn movies. I think there is something to be said about appealing to more people, like putting out a product that appeals to more people and is well liked by like a large group of people. Like maybe it's not artistically on as high a shelf, but it's more accessible. And I do know that totally. Like there are elements at play where it's like, well, she has more distribution. She's got like more people are willing to listen to Taylor Swift than some of these other artists.
That was the biggest argument I was going to make. It's like, like if The Rock makes a movie, everyone's going to see the fucking movie because we're like, we fucking love The Rock. It's the fucking Rock. And that's the way I feel when Taylor Swift comes out with stuff. I think that Taylor Swift, no offense to Dwayne Johnson, Taylor Swift's probably better at what she does than what Dwayne Johnson does. Definitely. But she's that like global star that when she puts something out, whether or not it's going to appeal to everybody because it's coming from a lot of people who have decided that they're locked in and that what she does is the best. And that's a credit to what she's done in building up a following. It doesn't necessarily say though, like that, if a new artist came out and they were like, yo, here's my new song, The One, people would be like, yeah, we don't fuck with this artist.
But I do also think
The One is one I'd like. No matter what. I think The One is a good song.
It's a good song. I also think that what Taylor's done this year is pretty impressive because she is not giving people necessarily what they want. She's doing something that's completely different. And people that I think were eager to shit all over her had to concede that, like, hey, this is pretty good. I've heard that from a lot of different people that are like, okay, I actually like, I don't really like Taylor Swift, but I like these past 2 albums.
Like KFC, like my co-host, we have notoriously gone head to head with about, he likes old school rap. I like pop music. And he's always like, I don't get it. I don't see it with her. And then he's like, Folklore came out, and I was like, oh shit, like I'm crying listening to Taylor Swift right now, because I do think she has had a sense of maturity and in the lyrics, in the sense that she's like more open to talking about what feels like genuine loss rather than pop loss.
And you said that she is Walmart. You said she's Walmart. This is definitely like still Walmart, because Taylor Swift will always be Walmart. She will always be like the corporation, but this is far less Walmart than what she has previously put out, because it's far less like pop music. This feels more like she's swearing. It feels
but
more.
Fucking like Maroon 5 swears, bro.
Yeah, for sure. But like Taylor Swift has always been the person where it's like, oh, she's pristine. Yeah. Where like she's appealing to the kids. Like every move is calculated. Every move is like to make sure that she doesn't turn off like her fan base or whatever. And now, whether you want to say it's purposeful, but like she, for more or less, feels like she's being like, fuck it, I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
And that's cool. I mean, I guess my point is like, this holds her to a high standard, but again, I guess I'm just holding her to the standard of her popularity. Taylor Swift hasn't blown my mind since Reputation, And I don't know if you guys would agree, and I don't know if you guys require her to blow your mind, that you need to hear a song that's like, holy fuck, like she's uncovering some new ground here, versus like, yeah, she's doing like a kind of safe thing here.
So
I think Dorothea was one.
Oh,
I think
really?
Dorothea blew my mind, because I don't know what Dorothea is about, but I listened to it and I heard a childhood friend writing to Taylor Swift and saying like, I'm so happy you're doing well now, and I only get to see you on a small screen, but you look so much sadder than you used to be. And like I was like, oh shit, like that's fucking, like even her just like talking about depression, I think is a step out of her comfort zone. And that's like the whole song is about like, if you ever want to come home, like I'm still here. And I don't, again, like I'm glad you're in magazines, I'm glad you're selling makeup, but you're clearly not as happy as you once were. And I was like, okay, one, I can relate to that. And two, I think that was a unique song from her, where I was like, wow, I can't believe Taylor. And I might just be missing, like I might be adding my own interpretation where she's like, nah, it's not what I was writing about at all, dude. But like I heard her writing about like that kind of stuff, because like, most of her songs are like the poppy, like, oh, we broke up and I'm sad, versus like I have severely mental issues now. Right. Like, so it's not a little bit of loss. It's like I have mental health issues.
That's a great point. Dorothea, maybe that's why I like it so much. It's like it's a grown-up version of stuff that she used to do. Right. Like that's I'm in on Dorothea.
The last time that she blew my mind was Cruel Summer, and I know DJ, you weren't crazy about that song at all. Yeah. Cruel Summer off of Lover, like that one was exactly what I want from Taylor Swift. It was just like an unbelievable pop song that like I will forever listen to over and over and over again and get like super psyched for. But it was also her being like, yeah, I cheated with like this person, and like she never did that before, where she was never, I feel like she never wrote a song where she was like, I am like, I cheated, and like it wasn't his fault. It was kind of both of our faults, and it was just like a sort of her not trying to be perfect, but like also I loved that song, and that song sort of blew my mind. But I was so underwhelmed by Lover that like I think at this point I would rather take a cohesive, like very solid album rather than getting my mind blown by one song.
Okay.
I'm with you on that too.
We've teased it enough. It would be unbelievable if we went 2 40-minute sessions without doing this. Let's put together FOLKMOST, some ground rules. Again, the song titles are going to be capitalized normally, stylized correctly, and we each get. There's 6 rounds, 1 pick per round, obviously, per person, and then at the end, no, not. I keep saying at the end. Whenever we want, we can do it in real time. We can think about it and say, loop back, hey, Pete, I'm getting rid of that song you put on, whatever. We can each eliminate 1 song. So
here's a question, though.
And to be clear, this is from Folklore and Evermore?
Folklore
Right.
and Evermore, yes.
And
Okay.
I would also
boy.
like to maybe throw out there, should we throw on the Long Pond sessions?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Gotta let you know I didn't. Is the Long Pond Sessions, is that the Disney Plus thing?
Yes, but
I
it's
forgot
also
my
on-
login. Didn't
It's on
see it.
Spotify. It's released as like a separate album on Spotify.
Okay.
So I that's
Cool.
why
Is that
I
the
think
same
that it should be-
songs?
It's the same songs, yeah.
Cool. All right. Who? Let's give our guest here the honors. Feitelberg, first pick.
Okay. First overall pick, Mirror Ball.
Like
Great,
it.
great first pick.
Really like that pick.
Yeah.
Pete.
Mirror Ball would have been my first
Whoa.
from both, I think. So I'm gonna go Ivy.
Oh, this is off to a good start. 2 songs that I would have put on. Maybe not in that order. I'm gonna mention a song we haven't said yet. Probably, with hindsight, my favorite song on Folksnore, Last Great American Dynasty.
Another great one. Great one.
Worthy of being a top 3 pick.
The imagery in that one is still to this. Mirror Ball and Last Great American Dynasty were 2 where I was just like, you can't even put yourself into those songs because her lyrics are so clearly describing something that you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm not trying to see how this song is about me. She's telling me exactly what it's about.
That song is so fucking good. My favorite song on that album initially was 7, and I still really, really like 7 a lot. But over time, I've been like, hey, Last Great American Dynasty is getting like an A grade here. So, what's your second pick? 4th overall.
I will go. God damn, this is so fucking hard. I like so many of these songs. Like when I'm forced to pick, I realize I actually like them all. I think what I'm doing here is I have a pick that would be 2. I don't think either of you are going to pick it, so I'm going to save it, and I'm going to take "'Tis a Damn Season."
Good strategy. I've also I've taken the same strategy with certain songs I'm not going to pick early on.
It's a real son of a bitch because that was going to be my next pick. So you've stolen both my top 2. I'm going to go. I'm going to go. So this is a sort of off the board pick, I guess. But this is me trying, but off of the Long Pond studio sessions because that was just so much better for me from the studio session.
Oh, boo.
I knew you were gonna hate it.
This Is Me Trying, Jennifer, was one of my picks, but I haven't heard the Long Pond version, and I wanted to, yeah. So this is weird. A song I wanted got on there, but I don't know. How fucking weird would it be if I be like, okay, I'm eliminating that one and putting on the one that I've heard. I love This Is Me Trying, and that was, we talked about at the time, like Father John Misty writes songs for other pop artists. I totally would believe if they were like, hey, Josh Tillman wrote that song.
And well, like think about it. That song is like very, very vulnerable, I guess, in just the way that it's written. Think about it stripped down in the studio session. I think that you would like the studio session more.
Cool. I mean, I love how kind of like
It's like
ethereal
airy.
the vocal is on This Is Me Trying. Oh boy, shit. You know what? Yeah, you gotta. Fuck. Do I let you guys pick the ones that I think I know you're gonna pick, and then that way I can force on more ones that you guys can't eliminate? That's a cool selfish move. Fuck. This is also very early in the draft. Should be kind of stumped. You know what? I don't know that someone else is gonna pick this. I think Pete probably would, but No, I'm not going to do No Body, No Crime. I'm going to do, there's got to be a time limit. I'm going to do, I'll do 7.
7's a safe
Seven
pick.
was one that grew on me. I thought it was fine, and I never disliked it, but it has certainly grown on me quite a bit.
This is the most fun I've had doing anything in, even like before the pandemic. It's very, very, very sad.
All right, my pick.
Yeah, speaking of 7.
All right, I'm gonna go Peace.
Ooh, okay.
I love Peace. I think this is another one with like a lot of beautiful imagery in it.
Nice.
And this one's also a deeply personal one too, because like I mean that like I feel like she's writing it to Joe and just being like, look, like it's never gonna be normal with me, and there's nothing you can ever do, and I hope just my distinct inability to give you peace is okay because you're not getting it with me.
Dude, I will say this, like, we come at Taylor Swift from different angles, but I have so much fucking respect for how borderline academic you are in your Taylor Swift experience.
You're like the wiki lyrics
Right.
of Taylor Swift discussions.
Here the
Like,
protagonist.
well, this one.
Here the protagonist has experienced loss.
You're like
Well,
you're like the bottom third of Spotify when you listen to certain songs and it gives you the footnotes with like the little pop-ups. It's like, well, funny fact about this.
I like that.
and that was one I thought before upon my first listening. I was like, oh, this is definitely about like her celebrity and how it's just never going to be okay with me. And then she could on the Long Pond studio session, she says that she's like, yes, this is about just you're never going to be at peace with me.
Wow. All right, Pete, number 8.
I'm gonna go number 8. I'm gonna go Exile. I know you guys aren't necessarily fans of Exile. I like it. I'm a Bon Iver stan. But I mean, Exile.
I used to love
Bon
Bon Iver, and I think I don't think he really knocks either of his songs out of the park on
No, I agree with that. Like
anymore.
he doesn't necessarily flex all that hard on Exile. I just think that it's a really nice song.
Okay.
It is distinctly the opposite of a nice song. It's got a nice sound, but like the song is about being in a bar with your ex-girlfriend or your ex and just being like, we have nothing in common anymore. There's nothing here for us.
Yeah, but it's like it's a nice song.
Yeah,
It's a nice song.
She's a nice girl, you see. Shoot. Okay, I think if I just waited literally one pick, we would hear Feitelberg say this, but I'm going to go Dorothea.
Oh, okay. It wasn't going to be the next pick, but that is a good pick to have on there. I'm going to go next. I'm going to take Betty. I fucking love Betty.
Yes, dude. Fuck yeah. That was on my list of I need someone else to pick it.
Yeah.
And I assume someone else is going to pick it. Betty's maybe top 3 for me on Folks Newsies.
I liked Betty a lot. Not my
I also
favorite,
heard a pop punk remix of it today.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was pretty fucking heavy, man. All right, we should probably pick it up because we just got our second 10-minute.
No way.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go My Tears Ricochet.
Ooh. Okay.
Good one.
I can't believe nobody's used an elimination yet.
I considered it for Exile, but I
thought about that. I was like, I didn't think about using it, but I thought that Feitelberg might use it. Okay, I know that Feitelberg, you're hot on how maybe we might look the other way too much on homicidal music by white women, and I think that that's a realistic concern. There's bigger concerns in the world that we should probably look into, but I'm putting No Body, No Crime on there.
I mean, you're making Carrie Underwood very happy. We were texting about it. I think whatever day it was, it might have been Saturday, And you were like, I mean, how many bodies Carrie Underwood have? Right? Carrie Underwood's got a lot. Country women just have and this one is a weird one to make the stink about because he was suspected of having murdered her.
Right.
Not
he
just
killed
cheating.
Esty.
Right.
Underrated,
so like,
underrated part of that song. It fucking kills off Esty.
Yeah.
Also, problematic. It's not as problematic as I thought it was going to be because when it started and it was like, Esty's my friend or whatever, I thought they were going to go through all of them. I thought that they were going to do all 3 Haim sisters and they were all going to get murdered. And I was like, oh my God.
Look, if the song was just like, Esty's my friend, she's very tall and pretty, she's excellent at bass. Okay, next. Danielle is probably... No, she's not quite Janelle Monáe, but she might be like the rock god of her time. Annie Clark's also in the conversation. Alana, oh my God. Think of what she contributes to that bit. Like if that's, and then she's like, okay, all done. And she just like going through the Haim sisters being like, these are, and that was the Haim sisters. This has been No Body, No Crime by Taylor. I'd be like, fuck yeah. I'd be like Feitelberg about it. I'd be like, oh dude, the protagonist is fucking saying some shit here. All right, 13.
John.
Oh, this is my pick.
Yeah.
Oh, right, because you just took my No Body, No Crime. Okay, so this is my 5th pick.
Yes, sir.
Yes. All right. I'm trying to strike some balance here between both. I'm gonna go. Then this might be a surprise pick even for me. I think I'm gonna go Illicit Affairs.
Oh wow. I did not think that.
I didn't think that was going to make it.
I did not. I didn't think that Illicit Affairs and My Tears Ricochet would make this. So interesting. All right, Peter.
Yeah, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to take off Illicit Affairs. I don't like it.
Wow.
I don't like it.
Banged.
What?
All caps right now. Banged by Pete. Holy shit. I've never seen anything like this.
That is stunning and upsetting. And so do I get another pick now? Or does that
we all get 6 picks. We all get 6 picks.
Total songs.
Yeah, we all get 6 picks and then everybody has 1 eliminated.
Okay.
We kind of got to fly here, but that was amazing.
All right.
Pete, what's your pick?
Okay, for this is I'm going to take Gold Rush here.
Oh, that was huge.
Oh,
Pete,
no.
that really hooked it up for me because that allows me to then take Closure, which
you guys are really putting me through the ringer now.
Bam. All right, last round, Feitelberg.
All right, last round. I am gonna take fucking fuck you, DJ, the one.
And the one has been eliminated. I've never seen anything like it. An instant elimination.
Oh, that
An
upsets me.
instant elimination. This is a classic moment.
Damn it. That upsets me for 2 reasons. Because number 1, I like the one, and number 2, we didn't get the opportunity to eliminate champagne problems because I would have been so happy. I would have raced to the button with DJ to be able to eliminate that song.
Shoving each other out of the way.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, that works out perfectly, right? Because now don't have to use anything on champagne problems. All right, Pete.
We all have 1 more pick, so this is John.
No, he just did the one. It got eliminated. So you.
He did. Oh, you did the one. Okay. All right. My last.
He wasn't
pick...
on this album.
God, thank fucking God. Shit. Yeah, we already did 'Tis the Damn Season. All right, I'm gonna do Long Story Short.
Ooh, 2 Haim songs on here. I think someone might kill us. We haven't even mentioned this song yet. It's a lot of people's favorites. We haven't even mentioned Marjorie.
Marjorie was gonna be on there. I just wanted to tell you to go fuck yourself and pick the one, but it was between the one and Marjorie.
Okay, so shit, man. The last pick.
So this one automatic. Oh no, it doesn't automatically get eliminated because John gets to go back and take anyone off he wants.
That's right. Do I go Cowboy Like Me or Mirror Ball?
Mirror Ball was the first pick.
Oh, so I'm probably going Cowboy Like Me. Cowboy Like Me or Marjorie? I'm going Cowboy Like Me.
Cowboy Like Me is a good pick.
I like that you said in the very last pick, the Mr. Irrelevant, you were considering the top overall pick.
Yeah. Okay, so we got housekeeping. We got 3 minutes left, but we've got housekeeping to do. I have used my elimination. Pete has used his elimination. Feitelberg, you get to get rid of. I mean, you could make it a sweep by getting rid of one of your own songs, then all of the eliminated songs would be your picks. Which actually does sound like a Feitelberg thing to do. Just be like, yeah, fuck it, you guys are probably right. I'll get rid of Peace or something. I don't know why I was being stupid.
What was your pick after? So it's Nobody, No Crime, Exile, and then you had one more. I feel like that is on the chopping block.
Oh no, fuck! All right, I'm just gonna read what options you have. You have Mirror Ball, Ivy, Last Great American Dynasty, Tis the Damn Season, This Is Me Trying, Jennifer, Seven, Peace, Exile, Dorothea, Betty, My Tears Ricochet, Nobody, No Crime, Gold Rush, Closure, Long Story Short, and Cowboy Like Me.
I am gonna go. Fuck. I think I'm gonna go Gold Rush.
No, what the? Come on, son of a bitch! I knew that it was gonna be between Gold Rush and Closure, and I was like, "Come on, don't do it, don't do it."
The upset of the century.
He only did that because he knows both of us like that song.
I actually didn't even know who. The reason I did probably the reason I picked that one is because I didn't know who picked it. I knew who picked the other ones, and I didn't want to hurt their feelings. That one, I was just going in blind. Like, I'm going to hurt someone, but I'm not going out of my way to hurt them. So it was who was it? Who took Gold Rush?
It was me,
Pete.
It was you.
I do like if you did do that move though of like, okay,
I know
we know for a fact that DJ and Pete both.
I know
like
DJ
this.
picked this one, so he didn't. I know DJ picked this one, so I don't want to hurt his feelings. Maybe Pete picked the other one. I'm willing to hurt his feelings.
I knew you picked Exile because Exile was also on the possibility.
That's true.
And I didn't want to go Exile, so I was like,
our three eliminated songs all came in a 4-pick span.
I mean that's how it happens with these things, man.
Yeah.
Once there's one little bit of action, the whole draft goes. If I hadn't used my elimination on the one and Champagne Problems weren't picked when I had my last pick, how fucking sick would that be if I used my last pick to take Champagne Problems and then eliminate it? To just be like, Champagne Problems will not be on this fucking album.
Oh, that was great stuff.
That actually, that like, it felt borderline productive. Like we were as a team, we were pulling the same direction. I was excited at points. Haven't been excited or energized in